Howdy gang, welcome back to Let's Play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Last time, we did something, that's for sure. This time, I honestly have a huge headache and don't feel like doing anything right now, but what better time to do nothing than play a game that requires me to do nothing while at the same time making progress. God, I'm truly blessed to be playing this game at this time. So basically, we're just going to be having a Chow episode this entire time. Here we have this guy. He's kind of turning into a power Chow since I've been giving him a lot of power lately, mainly because that's what I picked up for the last few times I went out and got Chaos Drives. So his power is now caught up with Fly and Run pretty much. Well, not really, because it's like a D, I think. But really all I'm going to do is we're going to do some karate, some races, and we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct that came out today, because there is no better time to do that. Alright, so, Chow Karate. Apparently, and I either did not save after I did the standard fighting thing, or I never did it. And just in case I'm on some like drug crazy trip and I never did it even though I thought I did, I'm gonna do it anyway. Just in case, because on the map select screen someone did point it out that I did not have the emblem, and I probably wouldn't have figured it out myself. Oh god, this guy's actually looking a little bit ugly since he's turning into a power Chow. I'm gonna have to fix that. Like his spikes are going upwards instead of curling down. Oh, as you can see, this will be pretty close. So, here on my list of things to talk about, I'll just go down the list. First off, the things that I'm most excited about from that Direct are Project X Zone 2, Mario Tennis, and Bravely Second. Now, Bravely Second, they really didn't talk about anything. They just gave us a release date saying, oh, it's going to be in spring of 2016. And I'm happy about that. I'm super excited. I can't wait. Project X Zone 2, I'm a huge fan of the first game, which came out in North America like 2013, which is like a year later after it came out in everywhere else. I think it's coming... Dude, you're still alive? Okay. I think it's coming out in America at the same time it's coming out in Japan, the second game. So that ought to be pretty cool. Plus it's adding some cool characters from Nintendo games like Lucina and Chrom. And Fiora from I think it's Fiora from Xenoblade. So that ought to be pretty cool. They also are adding Phoenix Wright from the Capcom series, Phoenix Wright. So that ought to be really cool. Also, is Spoopy gonna beat me? No, that's the answer right there. Alright, so other things that I'm also... Oh, wait. Something I wanted to talk about specifically for Mario Tennis. For some reason, everyone's like, wow, this new Mario Tennis is going to be complete crap. There's no content at all. Yet, they have like, a fully fleshed out online, similar to, like, Wii U Mario Kart. They have Amiibo compatibility, which is similar to Super Smash Bros., where the more your Amiibo plays, the more it levels up. There's a new game mode that basically, if you do, it gives you a new challenge based on how well you did on the previous challenge. So if you completely destroy a character that you're playing against, it'll give you a super hard character to play against next, or at least like a harder character than it normally would give you for the next fight. And so far, look at this, 100. Incredible. Didn't we hit 100 before? I don't know. I don't think we did. So now I'm just going to go to the races. But yeah, this Mario Tennis seems like it's going to have more content than both the GameCube and the 3DS one. And the 3DS one had a lot of content, let me tell you that. It had like, I believe 6 tournaments, even if you don't count the gimmick tournaments. It had like 10 different Yoshi colors, which I loved. It had so much stuff. Also, I think we might be fast enough to beat the Jewel contests now. Oh, whoops, I didn't do one. Well, we'll just like skip over that one, I guess. But yeah, this Mario Tennis is going to have by far the most content out of any Mario Tennis there have been so far. So I'm super excited for it. Another thing that got announced is Twilight Princess HD. And if you've watched some of my videos, I have actually, or probably in the comments or the descriptions of videos, I've said that I'm actually doing Twilight Princess blind after I finish Bayonetta. And, needless to say, I will not be Jesus fucking Christ. I will not be playing the HD version because it literally looks exactly the same as the other version. All they did is, like, sharpen it a little. Like, it's just not going to have, like, the little pixely aspects that the edge of a lot of, Wii models had. That's literally the only difference. Like they could make an HD remake of Skyward Sword, and it'd be more of an impressive difference than it would be from Twilight Princess, because it's still gonna look just as ugly as it did in the original game. They're not changing anything about that. They're not adding, like, bloom or anything like they did for Wind Waker HD. And so far, it doesn't look like they're adding many new features like they did for Wind Waker either. So it looks like it's literally just going to be a throwaway title just to get them some more money. Which, of course, that would happen with Twilight Princess of all the, of all these Zelda games. Yeah, I'm a little salty after this newest Direct because my least favorite Zelda game is getting a remake, and my least favorite character out of any video game character ever is now in Smash. Which is, oh, by the way, since I'm about to say this, if you haven't watched the Direct yet and you don't want spoilers, you should probably watch that before you watch this video. Wow, that was an easy race. Oh wow, we got a Sonic doll. I don't actually know if this is a toy that only my character can play with, or if any of the Chows can play with. I think it's just Paul that's going to be able to do it. That's Paul, right? Yeah. But yeah, spoiler alerts for everything that's been talked about in the Directs. So, Cloud got announced for Smash Bros. And the thing that I find the funniest about this is he looks like he's going to be an not exact. He's going to be a clone of Ike, but a soft clone, similar to Ness and Lucas. Because I was watching the video and I wasn't like freaking out that Cloud was in, because I was like, wow, I hate this character. Congratulations. But I was like analyzing his moveset, and I noticed that it's like very similar to Ike's. His up B is going to be similar to Ike's, except it looks like you can like cancel the second half of it, similar to how you don't have to use the second half of Shulk's up B. His jab is basically the exact same as Ike's. His aerials looked like Ike's. He had the downwards thrust of his sword for his down air, and his forward air was a swing similar to Ike's. His forward smash was exactly the same as Ike, so I think it's going to be a soft Ike clone, with at least some of his specials being... Jeez, I completely dominated that gap. Some of his specials are going to be different, because there was one where it showed that he was shooting off a little, like... The only way I can really describe it is like, Shovel Knight's special thing that he shoots out if you get the upgrade for it, whenever he does a normal shovel swing. Yeah, it seems like some of his specials will be different, and it looks like similar to Ryu, he's going to have two final smashes, one where he does a limit break, and one where he does one that's exactly like Ike's, which is why I think he's going to be an Ike clone, along with every single similarity with their movesets. The weird thing is, I haven't seen anyone talk about how they're going to be, how they look to be exactly the same, which is odd. I kind of wish that instead of... Oh hey, we got a broom. Instead of using the summons in the stage that they're adding for the Final Fantasy VII thing, instead they should have used the summons in the specials, like he summons a little Ifrit to send out a little beam of ice or something like that. They could have made his moveset so much better. But honestly, I'm glad that they're making him a clone, just because I hate him as a character. Alright, so now Garnet. Going on to things that I don't hate, Hyrule Warriors Legends has an announced release date, I think of spring 2016, I want to say. And they just added another character who is, they basically just gender bent Link. The name is escaping me, but it's literally like Linkly or Linkle. It's Linkle. That's what it is. Dear God, Linkle. That's such a stupid name, and I love it. So it's pissing off misogynistic people who are fans of Hyrule Warriors, and I love it. So that's a good thing. I'm also excited for Tetra and the King, or the King of Hyrule. I guess he technically is, and Toon Link to be playable characters, because I love Toon Link as a character. And I'm excited to play it on the 3DS, which is super cool. And it seems like they're adding Skull Kid too, which was probably announced sometime earlier than now, but I'm just learning about it right now. But I'm super excited for that. Ooh! One thing that I'm like probably the most excited for is Final Fantasy Explorers. It looks similar to Monster Hunter. It's going to be on the 3DS. It looks similar to Monster Hunter, but not Monster Hunter. I actually bought Monster Hunter 3 and 4 because it looked like an interesting game, but when I started playing it, it was super slow, super boring. The combat was not complex at all. It was just fight, 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 and maybe move. And it just did not interest me, so I didn't play too far into Monster Hunter. But this looks like similar, but it has more of like a Xenoblade style, I'd say. And it also has online multiplayer for groups of up to 8 people, which I think is going to be insanely cool. Look at that. We got a little, it looks like a butt on the little paddle thing, but whatever. So I'm super excited for Final Fantasy Explorers. Moving on to the next race. Sticking with Paul. God, I really do have to give him some fly things so he doesn't be a freaking Power Chow. So ugly. Oh, one thing that made a lot of people real mad is that they announced Mother 3 for Virtual Console in Japan, not in anywhere else, of course. Like, they realize that it's popular enough to get a Virtual Console release, yet they're not localizing it. I just think that's funny. It's like they're literally tormenting us. And I honestly have no idea why. Maybe they're thinking if they build the tension long enough, that it'll have like super good sales. But honestly, I think the longer they wait at this point, is just the sales are going to plummet farther and farther. And eventually there's not going to be a fan base for Mother 3 at all, and no one's going to buy it. Because they waited so long to localize it. Because, I mean, I'm sure everyone remembers the skit from, I think, their E3 thing, where they literally, like, had a little skit about Mother 3 and not localizing it, when one person in the audience was like, hey, where's Mother 3? And then they burnt him to a crisp. They know. But they just don't want to do it for some reason. Another thing that came out was Pokemon Picross, which I think looks super cool. It's basically... It's Picross, to say the least, but it's going to have Pokemon elements to it, like the Picross boards will be of Pokemon. You'll be able to use previous Pokemon you've Picrossed to help you out in your puzzles by using like a little ability thing. It looks pretty interesting, similar to Pokemon Shuffle and Pokemon... what other game there was that free-to-start game on the 3DS? Oh, Pokemon Rumble World. I think that's what it was called. If it's not, then it's one of the Pokemon Rumble games. It looks very similar to that, where it's just a Picross version of those two, but it looks super fun to me, so I'm probably going to try it out. 2 other Pokemon games that were actually talked about, Pokken and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, for those who don't know, releases November 20th, which is literally 8 days from now, so I'm super excited for that. Same with Mario Tennis, that releases the same day as well. So I'm actually super excited for both of those. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon mainly because it seems like it's basically going to undo all of the problems that the last Mystery Dungeon game on the 3DS had, where it had literally like maybe 100 recruitable Pokemon out of like 700. We got a box of crowns or paints or something. And it was, oh god, the main problem with that game was that you could not change the text speed, and the default text speed was slow as ass. And you know what, I'll just show off this last jewel race anyway, because I mean, even though I haven't gotten through it. Oh, did I show off 4? Oh, well, I'm sure you realize, you understand the whole thing. Oh hey, these are Sanics. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon for the 3DS sucked, so I'm hoping this one seems to be a good version of that, basically, and where they're going to have all the Pokemon available. It's going to have a storyline that's good. It seems like it's going to have a much longer storyline than the newest game, which was kind of lackluster and short. Yeah, they're basically just fixing everything that was wrong with the third game. And then there's Pokken, which, for those who don't know, is a cross between Tekken and Pokemon. And Tekken is a fighting game that's been around for a long time. I believe its first release was on the PlayStation. And it's looking super cool right now. Some weird things that I noticed with it is, like, you know, it's a 3D fighter, fully fleshed out in 3D. But there seemed to be a tiny anime element to that, to where, like, there seemed to be trainers to the Pokemon, and they were anime style, and they, like, show up on the screen, like, very shortly. Don't understand what's up with that. I'm assuming it's just going to be some art style thing that they just throw in every once in a while. But other than that, like, Pokken looks really good. I'm excited for it. I always wanted to get into a fighting game like that. And BlazBlue kind of got me into it, but a Pokemon fighting game is definitely going to get me into it. And the funny thing is, for a long time, I've been thinking of a game like that. Like, since I ever played, I believe my first Tekken game was Tekken 3 on the PlayStation 1 or 2, I don't remember. I was always thinking, wow, it would be freaking amazing if Pokemon had a game like this where you could play as any Pokemon you wanted and just have a fighting game based off that. And literally, it's happening right now, and it's coming out in spring. I'm super excited. Like, it's my dream come true as a game. Of course, it's not every single Pokemon that you'll be able to play as, but right now I believe they have like 16 Pokemon announced as playable, and they have supports announced too. Eevee's a support, which makes me happy. And a pretty good support, it seems like. Alright, well, since we've done all those races, I think I'm going to end it off here. The next episode's probably also going to be a Chow episode, because I do need to record more than one episode, even though I'm still feeling like crap. So, I'll see you all next time when we do some more Chow stuff. See you all then, and goodbye.